So today we have with us Mr. Priyanjth Weerasooria, who is the Deputy Chairman as well as the MD of FINCO Private Limited. And so in 2009, you led the group's expansion into the leisure industry with the start of the UGA brand. And I have been to many UGA properties with the work that we do. And one thing I've realized is the commitment of UGA towards sustainability. It's not just a superficial thing, you guys live it and breathe it. And with that, I have a question for you, and that is, what do you think is the future of sustainable tourism transformation within the tourism industry in Sri Lanka?
So, as you said, we embarked on our journey in hospitality in 2009. As you know, we are a family business, and at that time we saw opportunity in getting into hospitality soon after the conflict ended in 2008. We opened Ulugal in 2010. From the get-go, we focused on sustainable materials, building it with solar. At that time it was, in 2010 solar was really not something people really had in hospitality. So we focused in solar, rainwater harvesting and sustainable building materials. So we had a good foundation when we started in sustainability. As a country, I think we have to, how luxury and sustainability kind of go hand in hand. Preserving nature, our heritage, our culture, and how we kind of blend this together and be kind of visible in the global space as a sustainable and a luxury destination. As an industry, we need to focus on quality over quantity. We have to focus on less numbers and more. Sometimes it's not the most popular thing, but we need to look at higher revenue earning tourists. Sri Lanka being a small country, we are at the risk of over tourism. So we have to look at bringing in quality people who would stay longer, spend more, who would also respect our culture and our nature. And that's something that we need to, as an industry, understand. The other thing is, of course, energy. Solar, hydro, wind. So we have to kind of emphasize on those areas as well. Another aspect is water, which is a very, in Sri Lanka, water is a big problem. We have a lot of water shortages, we have contamination. So, we need to look at, technology to reduce water flow, how to make it by, invest in more water efficient equipment, look at rainwater harvesting, so on and so forth. So these are things that as a country, as an industry, we need to focus on.
I really like the fact that you included preserving culture also as a part of sustainable transformation. It's really important to preserve the environment and the nature. But when you mentioned Ulagal as your first property from the UGA chain, I remember visiting Ulagal and I was so blown away with how rich the story behind the property is, and that you occupying this property breathes life into something that might have got lost throughout the generation. So in that way, that is also a sustainable way of preserving parts of the culture, which I really like. And I think that's something is that something that you thought about when you did that, or is it something that happened later on? You thought, okay, this is also something wonderful that can be done through sustainable development.
I think, as I said, we kind of stumbled on hospitality, calling ourselves kind of accidental hoteliers, and we kind of learned as we went along. And since we didn't have any kind of a background in hospitality, we came with open mind. From that point to today, we have really focused, and we kind of thrive on giving a Sri Lankan experience. So we kind of evolved into it.
How would we as a country develop world-class tourism, but also maintain that responsibility of protecting and preserving our nature, communities, and our culture?
If you look at besides some of the local brands we have internationally, there's scope for larger more niche brands to come in, which will also give attention and bring their practices as well, which they practice all over the world. So from a policy point of view, you would have to kind of restrict the development in some sense. And also, one of the key things that we lack is hospitality, training.
Yeah.
Most of our talented youth are being attracted overseas. Certain countries can pay higher wages, but we need to keep, training and be able to increase the skill sets so that we also can, give back to them and, give a better, wage to them.
So would you say that it's accurate to presume that if we were to focus on high-end tourism, world-class tourism, that brings in a higher spending client or a customer, that would have a positive effect beyond just the overall things, because not only would we able to then pay the staff, the talented staff that are going abroad to work in the Maldives, in the Middle East, to stay within Sri Lanka and keep that talent here. Do you think that that benefit would reach as far as even the smallest stakeholder or even your staff? It's obviously going to have a good impact or a positive impact, not just at the top where just the company makes money, but we might be reducing brain drain as a whole if we can afford to pay staff better wages, keep the talented people in. And
yeah, I think by attracting a higher spend tourists, obviously would have a trickle-down effect. And I mean, if you look at hospitality, it's one of the few industries that the trickle-down effect is quite, quite beneficial down the chain.
yeah.
And it does develop, communities, creates small businesses. So I think definitely by able to bring more value or higher paying guests would definitely improve the livelihoods of our people.
Because some people tend to think that, if you only focus on high spending customers, the middle and the far-reaching stakeholders, people who have mom and pop shops along the beach side, that they are not going to benefit at all if you only focus on high-end tourists. But my concern is that I think high-end tourism can have a wonderful trickle-down effect. But if you focus only on mid to budget tourists, I feel like while those people do benefit directly instead of through the trickle-down effect, there is a lot of harm that can happen to the environment, because not everyone is educated on how to run an establishment in a sustainable way. So do you think that if we were able to share more information with the stakeholders in general, that there would be a lot more understanding on developing high-end tourism?
I mean, even high-end tourists would, patronize the beaches, and I mean, there will be a trickle down, and the people who have small shops will also benefit. But I think educating is key. I think we really lack it. I think from industry plus well as from all stakeholders. I think we need to educate the communities that are, living off tourism and who have the potential to, to kind of get involved in tourism.
Yeah.
And definitely also, if you look at the guiding communities, I mean, that's a huge shortage in Sri Lanka for quality guides. And how do we attract young, talented men and women to join the guiding community? If I mean, from UGA point of view, we're very passionate about empowering women, and you don't have many women guides. I mean, that's something that, we would love to, be involved in. There are so many areas that we need to show the younger generation that there's hospitality is not only coming and serving, the guests, and it's also a profession. It's not that you're serving somebody. It's not a demeaning thing.
Yeah.
You take pride of what you're doing.
So we've already spoken about how UGA came to be, and even back then in 2009, you guys were making decisions that were quite sustainable, that weren't even common in the hotel industry. For example, solar. But looking ahead, what do you think, what is your vision for UGA's role in redefining responsible luxury travel?
So for us, it starts with selecting where we build and how we build. So, I mean, if you look at our properties, we kind of, our footprint, we would have, if you take Ulugal, it's 58 acres, only 25 villas. So if you take Chena Huts, it's about 11 acres with only 18 villas. So we try to, build within our confines of nature. We try to have the footprint to be light. So with the build comes then we look at the talent. From the inception, we have always tried to attract local Sri Lankan talent, and we've also tried to attract Sri Lankans who are living abroad. We hire very little expatriate staff. We want it to be a Sri Lankan, from end to end, a Sri Lankan managed, group of hotels. We've always focused on Sri Lankan hospitality, and we focus a lot on bringing authentic Sri Lankan hospitality with a twist of Western influence. And it starts with our welcome ceremonies. Each of our properties, we have very traditional ceremonies that are unique to the location they're at. Even going away ceremonies, we always feel that when you leave a property, you're just given the check and you say thank you very much, and we want to kind of make that really a better experience than when you arrive. We kind of reinvent that type of experience to have a lasting impression for our customers. We want them to go back and talk about the country, talk about the properties, talk about the people, and we want them to market the destination. We also have strong ties in our sustainability, our ESG initiatives. So we have our 3 Ws, which is women, water, and wildlife. And so these are 3 pillars, and we really focus on women in business for us, not only people who are working for us, but also a supply chain. We try to help small businesses, women-owned businesses, to kind of be able to scale them up, be able to meet the standards, and we have quite a lot of that type of examples and we keep adding on that type of business. From a sustainability point of view, we are focusing a lot on our water initiatives. As you probably know, the North Central province of Sri Lanka has acute water issues, contaminated water issues. So we go around villages putting reverse osmosis water treatment plants for communities from about 1,000 to 5,000. And we've done like 10 to 12 projects now, and we keep doing those. Or from a wildlife point of view, our 3rd W, we work with conservationists like Dr. Priyanjth Weerasooria, who's elephant conservationist. We work with him on elephant fencing, educating the people around the villages about how to mitigate human-elephant conflict, and also educate our guests. Like in Ulugala, we have Elephant Research Center that would educate all our guests about the elephant, the elephants, the migratory patterns, the endangerment of them, protecting elephants, and so on and so forth. So we have all these touch points, and going forward, as UGA grows and we go into more destinations, we want to take this our UGA's core essence, or the core DNA of UGA through the destinations we go. So that's basically what we are focusing on, and that's how in our small way we like to contribute to Sri Lanka's growing tourism industry.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to lead by example, and I think you guys are doing a wonderful job in doing that. So thank you, and thank you so much for joining us to talk today and sharing your wisdom. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Shana. Thank you.